Okay, let's look at your comment. It says Ken doesn't want to be with her. She is obsessed with him. She is used to everyone bending over backwards for her, and he isn't doing that, and she hates it. I have a few theories on what's going on with Ken, and I don't know if anybody else has even thought about this, but they are filming right now for the next season of Life After Lockup, Love After Lockup, whatever it is. He is currently in a contract to finish out filming, which means that even if he wanted to leave, he couldn't, because if he broke the contract, he would then be having to pay Lifetime back for millions and millions of dollars, whatever he signed the contract for. So he is contractually bound to stay with her until the filming is over. Not only is he contractually bound, but I think that he is hanging on because he wants to see if this baby is actually his. And I think he is beginning to be very resentful of Gypsy because he feels trapped. He does not. She promised him a lot of things because that's what narcissists do. Narcissists portray like they are exactly what you want and need in their life. And then when that mask starts to fall, you start learning that they aren't who they portrayed themselves to be, and they are a completely different person. And that's what's happening right now. Gypsy's mask has come down, and Ken is increasingly annoyed with this person that he has no idea who she is, because it's not who she was whenever she was manipulating him into being with him. I know that was a lot. I have gone through several narcissistic personality disorder type relationships, so I am very familiar with how that mask falls off and how you can sometimes be like in a shock hoping that that person is going to come back, but they never do. So it's almost like you are mourning the relationship that you thought you were going to have with this person that you thought you were having that relationship with, and then they turn out to be somebody completely else. So I fear that that's what's going on right now, but I also fear that he is trying to be protecting of this unborn child, because everyone knows that this woman, Gypsy, has unalived her own mother, so she cannot be trusted with a newborn baby, especially the way that she needs attention, the way that she craves attention. Her attention and her notoriety is continually declining, and I think that she is starting to feel that, and she is getting into a little bit of a depression because she is no longer the center of society's mind right now. I mean, the last couple of times that she's done interviews, people have not asked her about her story. They've asked her about the Menendez brothers and their story. So nobody is interested in Gypsy anymore. She's old news. And I think that that depression that she is feeling is definitely being taken out on Ken. He's feeling the brunt of it. And as badly as he wants to run away, he can't. Not yet. So he's trying to hold everything together, but you can clearly see in their interactions, they were live at the airport, and you can tell he's annoyed with her. Like, he's super annoyed. I think he is also starting to see that she complains a lot. I mean, if you listen to her live streams, she never really says anything positive. The whole live stream, she was complaining about how she couldn't get her hair to do what she wanted it to do. She was complaining about the weather in LA, thinking that it was going to be warmer than it was. She's complaining about her appearance. She was complaining about her clothes. She was complaining about how she doesn't feel comfortable in anything. She was complaining about how it was a lot of walking. She was complaining about this, that, and the other. So she's constantly complaining about something. And imagine standing next to somebody who never has anything positive to say. You would want to run too, right? But then you feel like you can't because this person is holding on to something that could be biologically yours, and you want to protect that being because you fear that this person is dangerous. I think Ken is also starting to realize that a lot of these health issues that Gypsy had previously before going into prison are starting to reappear, and that seems just a little bit fishy, right? Like, why are they all of a sudden coming back? It's not because she's pregnant. The legs going numb, the inability to walk, her constant mood swings, her learning disability, her impulse control, all these things are indicative of her chromosome deletion and symptoms of her chromosome deletion. And I think as time progresses, more and more people are starting to see that, Ken included, because he's there with her every day. I think he personally needs a break and needs to get away from her because we can all feel the tension. I felt the tension through the phone. I also wanted to mention that I didn't go over her identity crisis as much as I probably should have, but for someone who, like Gypsy, for the majority of her life, she was playing a specific role. She was the sick child. She played the sick child very well for 23 years. When she went into prison, there was no character to really play, but she did a little bit, from what other people are saying, she did play, that sympathetic, I'm a sweet little innocent child while she was in prison as well. However, that's not working now. And it's not going to work if she wants to morph into someone that people take seriously. Because people still view her as that sick child that was in the wheelchair. People are not viewing her as who she is today, or they're viewing her as the unaliver of her mom. So she is in a little bit of an identity crisis right now, trying to figure out which character she needs to play in order to cash in on the money. Because what she's been doing over the last several months hasn't been working. The fame and the attention is starting to dwindle. She's starting to feel that. And because she doesn't know who she is as a person, she's having a hard time connecting to other people and even herself. She's not very self-aware, and she's struggling with trying to figure out who she needs to be in order to make money. In her book, she mentioned, I don't know how many times, that she's a people pleaser and she struggles to always want to say the right things. And you see that a lot in her responses whenever she does do interviews. It's almost like she's practiced those responses so many times that it comes across as very natural. But like when asked about the Menendez brothers, she couldn't even give an answer on that because she doesn't know what to think or feel about that case. And I think she's scared of saying the wrong thing and eliminating a lot of her supporters, the little bit that she does still have. So when she heard that, Kim was supportive, then all of a sudden she became supportive. Another thing too is she talked about like prison reform. Prison reform is not doing a crime and advocating for the people to get out of prison. Prison reform is actually changed behavior. And until she actually exhibits changed behavior, how can we take her seriously as a prison reform advocate? these are just a couple of things that I've been thinking about. If you want to add anything, please put it in the comments. And if you agree or disagree, please put it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.